What's up? I'm back. I wanted to talk about the imagination and get into that. And honestly, with the imagination, it's the same as dreaming. People fail to realize how powerful their imagination is. I wouldn't say people don't believe it's real because that's almost insane to think that way. Like, imagination is literally the closest thing to showing people art and people music, like dreams and things like that. That'll be more of the subconscious messages, but your imagination is more of your conscious way of thinking and seeing things and forming things into this reality. Like, your imagination probably came from some feelings that you got from your dreams and shit like that. And through our imagination, that's how we make something real. Like, that's the form of like making pottery in a sense, when it turns from when it's just a little clay blob. Like, the more you think, the more you imagine, the more you can form that clay into pottery. And that's the same thing that we're trying to do with our imagination. Like, we might come up with an idea or a thought, but if you don't tap into it, if you don't use it, you can't really form it or anything. Like, it might be something that you say you'll put off and do later, but that's not the way of going about things, because, I mean, honestly, you got to do the work. It ain't just going to come to you just because you thought about it. And that's what kind of people think. They just think about some great idea and pray on it, but at the end of the day, if it came to your mind, now you have the tools to imagine how to create it more and make it more grander. And if you don't, that's where this is gonna kind of talk about that too. But I just wanted to tie it into dreaming, because it's damn near the same thing. It's just another tool into making art, in a sense, that we can use. And I'm just gonna read from this guy named Charles Fillmore. This is on Truth Unity. Shout out to Hood Mystic. He put me on this site where it pretty much put like Christianity, metaphysics, and all of the different types of form of religion and ideas together, and kind of show you how everything's similar. But yeah, reading from him, he pretty much talk about imagination. He even get into dreams, and this is kind of summarize what I was talking about yesterday, but maybe from another perspective, and maybe even give me more insight to dive deeper in it on. But I'm gonna start just by putting a little bit of quotes from each part of this little booklet. We have been told when we go off to dream or imagine various things are merely our imagination, and to take this attitude and estimate. I hate that. That's not a good word to use right there, but these niggas just used to talk different. And take this attitude and estimate of imagination has been so belittled. I'm making up words and putting shit in there because they're not writing right. The actual powers of imagination in our lives, we produce such wonderful results in frivolous ways. And if we treat it seriously, it'd be a great force and of value in developing our character. And honestly, all they were just saying is not being able to take yourself serious, not taking your imagination serious, and kind of just harping on what I just said, in the sense of if you think of something, you might pray on it and just let it go by, but it might create something, it might not, because in the sense of you throwing scattered seeds, like, and if you do create something, it's in a frivolous way, you probably don't have no foundation or roots on how to redo that same process, because you scattered your seeds and you didn't pay attention and take care of each seed, in a sense. Take your time with each seed, in a sense. Then they go on to say, our imagination is very important in developing our character and our values, because some of the most imaginative people create the best art. Those are the people we look up to the most, and that's because they're connected to their source of art. They're connected to their source of knowing and wisdom, and that's why they can make physical things happen in this reality, because they're bringing things from the spirit and from wherever that place wherever their soul and their art coming from, they're pulling from that realm and then displaying it here for people to enjoy. And that's where money come from. It's not about creating shit from the outside first and then going inside and hoping to change you. No. And you can say that in the same aspect of I probably should keep reading before I get into that. I'm gonna keep reading before I get into that. We do this and we find, okay, the reason that the great flood came upon the earth is because during the time of Noah, the men was using their imagination for evil, and their pointers taking literally an explanation of metaphor. Okay, whatever. But this is just going on to say, like, well, let me read it finish. I'm sorry. No doubt the work of imagination in wrong ways, ignorant ways, does produce a great flood of enormous thoughts, produce an atmosphere that if allowed to go on, finally submerges us in the evil of materiality, and that's where it goes to show talk about trying to fix things on the outside, trying to accumulate outside wealth and hoping that it change the inside. That's bullshit. Because you see billionaires, millionaires still trying to get richer and stressing out on what's the next come up or what's the next move or what's the next fall or how they can capitalize on whatever. They always still in the rat race and always trying to they always looking for something better, looking for, the change or some shit. But what's crazy is all the shit is inside of you, so we keep looking for the outside in this matrix of materialism. This shit gonna constantly keep renewing and keep changing and being something different. And people gonna keep trying to eat that shit up, hoping it's gonna change on the inside. But no matter what car, no matter what mansion, no matter what you get, it is not gonna satisfy you till you happy on the inside. And when they say money don't cure happiness or some shit like that, or money don't treat happiness or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. It's like that shit is true, bro, because many artists today be like, man, I got this shit, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, so this money really only contributing to my depression. Like, and honestly, like, if you don't know why you here, you keep being lost, bro, you keep living this materialistic world, you only gonna buy your own death. And that's real life. Like, bro, niggas overdosing and all that shit because they can afford it. They don't know why they here, so they use their money towards shit like that. And eventually they kill themselves, but that's because they don't know themselves on the inside. And in that same shit, it's like when you become rich, when you're trying to become rich, bro, they say you you flood with enormous amounts of thoughts, bro. Like, materialism always constantly keep you thinking about what's the next come up, what's the next thing, bro. Like, that shit'll flood your mind with stress and all other type of shit. And that's what the Great Flood was more about than talking about a bunch of people got in the damn boat, a bunch of animals got in the damn boat. Okay, let's see what else I want to read. I think I wanted to go to sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out where I wanted to start back at. Cause I don't want to read this dude is very wordy with his words. Like, this thing was only 20 pages, but this shit could have been at least 5 pages long, because it's not that difficult to explain. But they like to use their words and seem hella smart. The infinite mind perfects. It puts life and love into our production or picture. Love draws things from the universe, but what gives it its form or deform? Imagination. As you see in your mind, so you become. And that's how you know what's first. It's not this outside world. It's not the things that you think can make you happy on the outside: money, riches, fame, education, whatever. It comes from the inside that's already inside of you. What you see in your mind, so you become. Point blank, period. So what you dream, what you imagine, those are the real yous. That's the purest connection to yourself that you're gonna get. Like, people say they kill people in their dreams and shit like that. The fact that the only reason you see it as a bad dream, just to talk about it real quick, is because you putting your human morals and your human perspective on your godly self. God kills at all time. God takes whatever he feels like. God destroys whenever he feels like. So your godly self, if you're looking at your godly self with a human lens, you won't like your godly self, because your godly self will kill off people that don't need to be in your life and shit like that. That's when people, the big thing with spiritual people, we know when you ask for God, be prepared to have a lot of detachment in your life, because when God come into your life, bro, he gonna point out a lot of the shit you've been doing wrong. Big facts. And that kind of all go into that. So don't judge your dreams with the human lens, in the sense of, that's the only thing we got, but you gotta look at it in the understanding of your God, your higher self don't think like your human self. It's beyond that shit. What is pain to a God? That's what J. Cole said. And that's honest truth. Your higher self will put you through pain. You'll be like, why are you doing this to me? Because, nigga, you don't listen to me. That's how your higher self think. It thinks like a father or your mother. It don't think like it's your best friend or your homie. It'll put your ass on punishment before your own physical parents will. Cause shit, yourself is your own parent, no bullshit. But let's keep reading. So some people see things when their eyes are closed. They are simply the pictures of their imagination without the projection of intelligence and I'm sorry, they are little pictures, little motion pictures. They are old style pictures, and they were silent and couldn't express themselves fully. Now, two people saw motion pictures just the same. Will imagine things to be so and so. So I told you this nigga be saying shit just wordy as fuck. So this nigga said to be so and so. So in everything we do, we project this image, imagination power. But yeah, in the same aspect, what he was saying, some people have motion pictures, some have old style, some have silent pictures. All those are different ways of expressing the imagination. Because I mean, you have those type of movies out here, just black and white movies, color, 3D. These are all different ways to express the imagination. But once you like realize and put them all together, you know, you can really start some shit. But that's what I got out of that. No two people saw the picture just the same. We imagine these two things and be so and so. So everything we do, we project our own. And that little last part, he said that just go into like everybody watching the same thing and get their own projection, their own imagination and interpretation of that shit, because everything's come from your own source. Everybody not gonna see things like you because they're not the same source as you. They don't come from the same aspect of you. Like, yeah, we might all go back to one source, but you're this part of the source doing this aspect. Like the sun can't be the moon can't be the sun. So if they were trying to be equal or the same, like that'd be pointless. But they're compatible. They're compatible still, and that's a lot of things we fail to realize. Some of us shine brighter than others. Some of us don't. But it don't mean you gotta take over that person's shine or block this person's shine. Like, there's enough room for us all to do this. And that's, I mean, if the sun and the moon can do it, if all these trees and grass can do it, at the end of the day, I believe we can. But like I said, I'm not here to really make world-changing statements, because I know it's not going to happen. I know what this reality is. Yeah, okay, let's see. But every idea you bring to your conscious mind must first be formed in your mind. You may get the idea of Christ's perfection, but it's an abstract concept including in your mind unless you incorporate it and incorporation of its beliefs. Okay, all right. So let me finish reading that. And the God and the Father, and that you are his perfect manifestation. So if you believe in Christ, but then you believe you're not perfect, you don't believe in God, in the sense of what he's trying to say. Like, if you're going to believe in something, you got to fully believe in it. So people believe they're not perfect, and they tell us not to believe that we're perfect, but in that same aspect, we're in the process of perfection. So it goes to your whole idea of understanding. Like, if you drink it from the cup, you know that you're on the way and on the path to be perfect. So technically, you're already perfect if you're on the path of perfection. It's just a lack of understanding. So if you really want to be in this Christ energy, you're trying to perfect yourself at all times and always try to better yourself. And you realize through that betterment, humanity is what's holding you back. Honest to God truth. And that's how you fully embody the Christ energy. That's what they're kind of say. Like, but people be half-ass doing shit because they don't really know the full energies and beliefs. But that's just pretty much fully diving into your imagination and being and truly seeing what your imagination needs to be created. Like, for me, my imagination says you want to be free. So if I want to create the imagination, I got to realize what different things are stopping me from being free, and then I go from there. Like your imagination, your dreams, wisdom, all those different things. And I wanted to read about Solomon. I think it was on page 19. Okay, I got a little time. You get down on your subconscious, you find that your conditions of your conscious through your dreams. You get guidance from God in your dreams, and all dreams are divine. For example, the dream of Solomon. Solomon wanted from the bottom of his heart to be a good kind, and he realized that he was not very wise, and he asked Jehovah that he might be made wise. Most of us would have asked him for riches or fame. The Lord told him in a dream that he would have both riches and honor if he would follow the imagining power of the mind and centering on wisdom. Solomon had $9 billion, 9 times more than the richest man in America. He did it. How did he get it? By asking God for wisdom, and they were the results of his wisdom. And that's just going to show you, like, you try to find all these different things, like, but wisdom is what's going to build your foundation of wealth and abundance. Conditions just as he got it in handling his nations. Like he get it in the same way. He got his shit in the same way that he earned it, like through wisdom. So whatever his money came from, it didn't come from greed, envy, lust, or whatever, jealousy, whatever. It came from wisdom. But